In Isaiah 58, it says, "Is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen, to loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke?" And I knew I needed to pray. And what does that look like? Is it just skipping a meal? No, it's fasting and praying about things. And is it chosen from the Lord where He can direct me and help me to know what that looks like, being willing to trust Him. If it was several days in a row, I was trying very hard to stay focused and trusting God with what's going on in each of my kids' lives, but especially with the struggles that I did know about that Andrew was facing and struggled with anger, like his dad would struggle sometimes with anger. I just needed a glimmer of hope once in a while in my kids' lives, especially in Andrew's. Just God's at work there, and sometimes I'd go down at night when he was going to bed, and he'd be reading his Bible. And I'd just be like, oh, thank you, Jesus. I mean, some of those nights when he didn't come home, thought he was still just having fun wearing wigs to Walmart or something like that with some of the kids, like just being goofy. I didn't know what all was going on, but I know that there were struggles among some of those youth, and so I did pray for some of his friends along with him during that time.
My parents were out of town and had a party at their house. About every neighbor on the block told them. So there was no hiding that. I mean, at that point, I was just carrying this like weight. I got to a point where I honestly wanted to just get caught because I was living this hidden life. And when that happened, it was, I didn't know how my parents would respond. And God really used that. My parents were gracious. They just wanted to support me and help me, that I just saw a glimpse of God's grace.
Tom kind of confronted him after that opportunity. Andrew gets surrender now, that God's really at work there.
It was that point that it was a turning point, because I didn't tell God, I don't want to keep living this life where I kind of know that you're the way, the truth, and the life, but I'm living my life apart from that. And I want you to redefine what I'm living for, because the way that I'm doing it isn't working.
There are plenty of things I know that I've prayed about too that seem like I've not gotten answers, but I do remember kind of hearing those stories when I was younger in my faith, or when my kids were young, where it was somebody's spouse that they'd prayed for 40 years. And finally they came to know the Lord, and the Lord probably would bring that back to my mind when I'd get really discouraged and be reminded, okay, God can still work here, and you just have to trust the Lord with that and know that He's in control.
I've got a newfound appreciation just because I'm a parent now, right? And just being burdened for my kids to want to know the Lord, just praying that the Lord would grab a hold of their hearts, that they would grow to love Him, praying for their spouses, and I know that my parents did that for me. My parents' willingness, my mom's especially, to sacrifice sleep, to sacrifice time, to sacrifice food, to sacrifice so many things to cry out to the Lord on my behalf, because that was more important than sleep or food or time even.